Wildlife policies were once determined by degreed professionals who knew the game through intensive scientific studies that helped determine hunting seasons, quota, and future management of the precious treasure of wildlife. Unfortunately, social media, carefully crafted misinformation, and political agenda are too often driving the discussion and forming the basis of wildlife policies in place of scientific data. The country of Tanzania is currently feeling the disastrous impact of misguided management of her wilderness and her wildlife.
I am an advocate of promoting hunting by a more accurate definition than trophy hunting. Conservation through hunting is a proven and truthful description of our industry, because hunting achieves conservation. The true value of conservation through hunting is not merely found in the revenue it generates, but rather in the long-term protection of both our wildlife resources and the healthy habitat that future generations will depend on. If a hunting area generates 150 to 300,000 per year for government alone, by harvesting only 1 to 3% of the population of game, then the total wildlife resource left breeding is worth many millions of dollars for that concession alone. The anti-hunting community continuously deceives the world by blaming the decline of African wildlife to hunting. They refuse to distinguish between the conservation-based hunting, which is selective and legal tool of conservation, from poaching, which is an illegal and devastating criminal act. Their flawed rationale only sees the killing of a wild animal as an act they decry as hunting. They purposely fail to recognize the difference between the legal, tightly regulated hunting of the sportsman to the immoral and illegal act of poaching. It is like saying that withdrawing money from your bank account is the same as committing a bank robbery. Tanzania's hunting industry was thriving until recently. Our much chronicled decline started due to many factors, including higher costs and taxations and increased anti-hunting pressure. Political, not science-based decisions soon resulted in crippling trophy import suspensions. The damage of this unnecessary action is clearly seen today, as over half of my country's critical hunting concessions lie abandoned and vacant, serving neither wildlife or our people. Sadly, the US government buckled to misguided anti-hunting pressure, combined with dirty politics set into motion by the previous administration. The resulting trophy import suspensions of elephant trophies from Tanzania in 2014 and on lion in 2016 sent the financial shockwaves through Tanzania's safari hunting industry. These import bans have delivered an immediate and severe blow to the Tanzanian hunting industry, considering 70% of Tanzania's hunting revenue is generated by the American hunters. As safari sales started to plummet, outfitters started to lose money and were forced to surrender hunting areas that were no longer profitable. The resulting abandonment of these concessions, so long guarded and protected by safari outfitters who managed them for long-term survivability, were now exposed to the ravages of poaching and the decimation of more wildlife than hunting has ever harvested. Remember the hysteria generated by the anti-hunting groups and fueled by misinformation delivered by the biased media when Cecil the lion story exploded? It is a proven fact that this media frenzy discouraged many hunters from traveling to Africa. It is also interesting to note that upon investigation of the Cecil affair, the incident only involved a minor legal infraction. What was reported in the media, however, was pure dishonesty, but it was very profitable dishonesty, as millions of dollars were subsequently raised by the anti-hunting and animal rights organizations. Hundreds of human beings are killed and eaten annually by lions in Africa. But that doesn't make the media news. It would appear that African lives really don't matter to liberal media. Pastoralists in East Africa kill hundreds of lions each year to protect their livestock. But again, that is of no interest to the biased media or the anti-hunting organizations. Sadly, we truly live in an area of fake news and fraudulent fundraising campaigns. I call it fraudulent because it is fraud. What else can you call it when one intentionally misinforms in order to make money? The anti-hunting community in America raises $1 billion a year by misinforming the public, in full knowledge that their actions directly lead to the slaughter of more wildlife in a few years than safari hunting has ever taken, and that safari hunting has been protecting and funding the protection for years. Let's consider for a moment the irony in this. It is the anti-hunting mindset and agendas that directly contribute to the destruction of wildlife and habitat. Politics over science has resulted in more indiscriminate elimination of wildlife than the hunter's bullet has ever taken or will ever take. Now is the time for our side to shine the light on the truth behind the proven conservation through hunting model and reshape the court of public opinion. Historically, hunters have failed to unite against the destructive and always focused anti-hunting lobby. So let's ask ourselves, who is the senseless killer here? Is it the sportsmen and women who selectively hunt all male animals and raise the money to protect all the wildlife and its habitat? Or is it the animal rights organizations that misinform the public, ridicule and terrorize hunters, and demonize safari hunting in order to destroy our markets? And of course, their goal is accomplished with full knowledge that the result will be the merciless slaughter of thousands more animals and the loss of hundreds of thousands of square miles of pristine wilderness. So again I ask, who is the merciless killer here? Who is the real monster? Is it us or them? It's them. And that is the only moral justification that we need to stand and fight for conservation like there is no tomorrow. Because at this trend, we have no tomorrow. We need to engage today.